What up, though, and welcome to another edition of
The Unfinished Project.
I'm your host, Meech.
And I'm your host, Reese.
And what's up, y'all?
Yay.
We are back
For a new episode. How are you guys doing?
I hope
you guys are doing well, because we are.
I am. I'm doing well. I'm feeling good, Reese.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling inspired.
You feel inspired?
Feeling inspired
I do,
today.
too. I feel real inspired.
What's inspiring you?
Money right now. I can't lie. It's the money calling right now. That's got me going. But yeah, just I'll take that back. Abundance. You know, like abundance 360. That's what I want.
Everywhere and
everywhere. I want
every pocket of your life.
Abundant relationships. I want an abundance of luxury. I want, like just a good spiritual life. Yeah. That's how I'm feeling. I want it all.
So
I can have it, right?
Yes, we're gonna talk about how to get it.
How to get
today,
it. What's holding you back?
What is holding you back? Why don't we have all of that?
Let's get into it, Reach.
Because we need to. We need to tap in.
We just tap in.
Tap in.
Come on, sweetie.
All right. So this week, we're gonna talk about limiting beliefs, and what's holding you back. Because we're really limitless. In terms of like what we can accomplish, who we can become, and sometimes our limiting beliefs is what's preventing us from really being who we truly can be and stepping into our greatness. So we're gonna kind of talk about that, like our own personal experiences with dealing with beliefs that hold us back, and kind of just like tips to overcome that, so we could all be like the best versions of ourselves. I think we all want to deep down to just be like, the best us, whatever that means. It's different for all of us, but I think we all have some kind of shared
desire.
Yeah, exactly.
For more.
Yeah, so
I think that's something we share in common, is like that shared desire to have more, to be more, to become, to do, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. How this conversation kind of came about is because we want to speak to it. I feel like we all have things that are limiting us. I feel like we all have things that have limited us before that we've grown past. Yes. And I definitely think it's a conversation worth having.
Well, let's have it. Okay. So yes, go ahead.
You want me to kick it off?
Yes, kick it
off. So let's start by, I want to ask you, what are limiting beliefs to you? Like, what do
I define to be like limiting beliefs?
Yes.
Beliefs that kind of psych you out of doing something. Mm-hmm. Things that like we tell ourselves that make us feel like we're not either qualified or worthy for whatever that thing is. Like, for example, if I want to start a business, for example, and I just say, I can't start a business. I don't know anything about a business. Mm-hmm. I don't have enough money to start a business. There's always putting like a lack or a limitation on why you cannot do something. And those kind of beliefs are so like, common in our everyday lives. Like, we don't even realize that they can be something that's stopping us from opening that business, or, taking that risk, or, following that dream. And, when I think about stuff like that I tell myself, if I was to be really transparent and honest, or if I saw someone else talking to themselves and telling themselves like, I can't do this, it kind of, makes you realize that you are the one that's stopping your progress by just having these thoughts about that you can't. Because if you can't, for example, if you don't know how to run a business, or you've never done it before, that doesn't mean you can't learn. So you could say, instead of saying I can't, or I don't know how to run a business, it's like, I don't know right now, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to take a class, or I'm going to find someone that's done it, or things like that to kind of counteract that. So that's what I think limiting beliefs are. So how about you, friend?
I feel like limiting beliefs are like very subconscious. I feel like it's that real plan in the back of our minds that we don't really identify with completely. Yeah. And it's the subtle things, like, I'm a procrastinator. That used to be one of the ones I would tell myself. And it's almost affirming that to yourself in the back of your mind, and you speak it out too. You know what I mean? Or I'm always late. I'm going to be late. I'm always late.
And I say that all the time.
And I'm always late. You know what I mean? I do the same thing. I feel like that's something we both have in common. We're both always late, and we will tell you, I'm always late.
I'm a late person.
I'm a late
person. I can't be on time no matter what I do.
And it's true.
Yeah. Because I'm telling myself these things. So what you tell yourself becomes true. So that's why it's very, key to check what you say out loud. Check what you say inside in your mind.
And what are you telling yourself?
Yeah.
You know, another thing with limiting beliefs, I feel like that we all kind of deal with is where we come from. You know, it's the background. You know, like say if you come from poverty, if you come from wealth, you know what I mean? Like sometimes because the limiting beliefs are different with poverty and wealth, but either way, you've already kind of wrote your own story about what you know to be true, about what's been true for you or people that you know in the past. And so, well, this is what I come from, this is who I am, this is who I must be, so this is who you show up as.
All I've seen.
Exactly.
Yep. Like you know, you come from, like how we were talking about our last episode about, you know, the independent woman and being in a single family, like a single mom household and all that.
Exactly.
So you kind of have this, you know, notion that, you know, that's the norm. Or if your life mirrors that of your mom, for example, you might feel like that's your destiny. Or something like that, or it's all you've seen, it's okay. Like, you know, the thought of it being more than that seems so, like, far-fetched because it's all you know. Like how we were saying last week, too, that it was commonplace for all of my friends to not have the dad and
yes,
the family.
Exactly.
So for me, thinking that, you know, it's okay, or, you know, just thinking that to have that is like this big feat that's so, like, impossible, it's so much to attain. And it becomes a challenge in our lives now because we've telling ourselves that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get a good
Life
man.
Life is hard. I have to work hard for money.
I have to sacrifice this. I can't be happy and work a 9 to 5. I'm going to always have to live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Because all you see, and then you don't even realize sometimes that you just become that.
Yeah.
Because of just what your family has shown you, what your community has shown you. You know, so that's why it's important. I always think, like, for kids, like, especially, like, inner city kids, black kids, to come outside of their neighborhood, outside of their schools, to see what else is out there. I feel like other communities, other races, they're able to kind of, they have more opportunities to see outside of their normal, you know, see outside of the world, not even just like your community or your state, but like the whole world. Like, there's so many different cultures and ways of life, and we're just so used to what we know. So like the thought of something else just seems so foreign,
exactly,
far-fetched. And it's like, no, like, because, you know, that's what we're accustomed to. So we have to kind of challenge those, undo those things, like for generations to come. Like, I haven't been outside of the U.S. besides, you know, to my mom's hometown in Jamaica. But, you know, when I have kids, I plan on every summer to take them to a different place, to a different country, so they could see outside of their life. And their life doesn't have to be bad for them to know that there's more to it. You know what I mean? So when I think of, like, family beliefs, it's kind of like undoing the learning that a lot of our life is kind of like that. You have to unlearn what you were taught, whether good or bad, whatever. There's always another way of learning and doing things. And a part of, you know, overcoming your limited beliefs or what you've seen that, you know, didn't inspire you to be your greatest self, you have to consciously undo these things because they're so rooted in who you are, whether you see it or not, that you have to take a conscious approach in order to, like, overcome it. So I feel like I could speak for me and you that we've kind of taken, like, that approach. Like, we realize how much stuff that we say to ourselves that's so negative, like, just by hearing each other say it about ourselves. Like, I hear you talk about yourself, and you'll tell me, like, don't talk to my friend like that. Yeah. And she always says that to me. And I'm like, girl, it's true.
It is.
Blah, blah, blah. So,
because you would never talk to me that way, like you said. It's the negative self-talk, you know what I'm saying? It's the things that we do that we don't even realize we do. So, like, I will tell her, like, don't talk to my friend. Like, don't say that about my friend.
And we're normally, like, harsh on ourselves. Especially, like, for
anybody. Because you'll never speak to me that way. You only speak life into me.
Exactly.
And so we have to make a conscious effort to do that for ourselves as well.
Absolutely.
I feel like another huge thing with limiting beliefs is a fear of failure. We have this stigma about failure. And for me, I understand it, but I see it a little bit differently. Like, most people are afraid to fail. They're afraid to do it wrong. They're afraid to not get what it is they're going after. So they won't try it all. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They won't try it all. They won't start. Because they already have in their mind that they can't do it or that they're going to mess it up.
Or it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Or time consuming. Whatever it is that stops you.
Exactly, and you have that idea in your mind. But I feel like if we take a different look and a different approach when it comes to failure, because I see failure a little bit differently. To me, I believe in failing forward, right? If I'm going to fail, I'm going to use it. If it hurts, I'm going to use it. I always say I don't waste no pain. So if
no pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. Miss Betty Wright, rest in peace. But seriously, like, so when it comes to failure, I almost look forward to failing, because anytime I've ever failed, I always learned something I needed to get up and do it again. It's really not about failing. It's about, are you willing to get back up? Are you willing to fail?
Are you willing to learn the lesson?
Exactly. Take the lesson, get back up, and try it again. And that's in love, that's in life, that's in money, that's in work, that's in your purpose, that's in whatever. Are you willing to take the lesson from which you have failed? Because I don't believe in anything failing. Anyone I know who's truly successful at what they do had to go through trial and error. They had to do it, they had to try, they had to mess it up, they had to take the lesson, get back up, try it again, fail again. It's not like this straight path to success. It's not this straight path to happiness, to, to healthy relationships, to a healthy you. You're gonna mess up. It's no other way to learn. Sometimes I have become wise enough to learn from other people's mistakes and failures.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can see you do something, try something a way I might have tried it too, fail, and learn your lesson with you. So I don't have to fail that way and take the lesson you learned and apply it that way. But we have to really change the way we feel about failure, because failing is so beautiful. It literally represents an opportunity to try it a different way. Now you have more knowledge. Now you know I know not to try it this way. Let's try A, B, C, D. You know what I'm saying? And if we can change the way we look at it, I feel like it would change everything.
Yeah. So let's be real. Failure hurts. Failure is uncomfortable. Nobody wants to fail. If I've tried something, I might be okay with failing one time. I might be okay with failing a couple times. But when you're failing a lot, it's very discouraging. So to the people who have tried to start their business, or who have had so many different ideas of things that they wanted to do and they never seem to work or follow through or whatever it is, like, how do you speak to that? Because I feel like that perpetuates like that limited belief. If you keep trying and you keep failing, like, you feel like you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing that I always find about this topic, like speaking things into existence and speaking positive over your life, because be careful with your words manifest this. I always, especially like beginning to learn this, like, is it that easy for me to just speak it and say it? Like, I always, that's always like the question that comes up, like, yeah, I could just keep saying it, I'm this, I'm that, but it's not working, or, I can't just talk positive in my life and all of a sudden it's like magic
and everything
changes. And like, that's why when I think about like limited beliefs, it's not like an automatic thing. Like, I'm not going to say like tomorrow I'm going to write down 10, 15, 20 affirmations and I'm going to go through the week and say I'm able to do anything that I want to do and I'm not going to fail, or if I fail, I'm going to take this lesson, because life is not that black and white and life is not that easy. If it was, we'd all be successful. We'd all be the top of our game in whatever aspect it is. So let's just be real. Like, let's talk to like the people who have tried, the people who have failed. Like, how do you, there's no, what I've learned from this is that there's no time frame. You don't wake up like one day and then realize all of your hard work of speaking positivity over your life has just, changed, but you see it in little pieces.
Oh yeah.
Like, and not even every area of my life I see that, progress. Like, some areas I could totally see that I've mastered the art of speaking things into existence. Like, I don't think in lack when it comes to certain things, or if I do, I can catch it more easily, because I'm noticing that, like, for example, I brought it up the other day, like, ever since I bought this house, like, I feel like my finances have not been what they were to get this house.
Right.
Just to be transparent. Like, I feel like, everything is good, but I just feel like I'm working so hard. Like, I have all this stuff and all the things that I thought I wanted to do when I moved in. I'm like at like a standstill. I can't. And I feel like I keep telling myself, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Like, I can't do this, or it's going to take forever. And like, I keep telling myself all these things. And I've realized, like, I'm telling myself these things and it's true. And before, to speak to the opposite of that, when I was saving for this house, there was never a time where I thought I didn't have enough. Even if I saved $10, even if I went into my savings and took out $500, it never felt like I didn't have enough. I always felt like I'm going to get it back, or it's okay because I know what I'm doing, or I always had like a different mindset because I knew that my end goal, like, there was nothing to get in the way. So, like, it was no obstacles, whatever. Even if I failed, even if I messed up, even if a big emergency came in my life where I had to pay $2,000-$3,000 out the blue, it never felt like I was failing. It felt like I'm learning, like, a different way, or now it's going to take a little longer.
But I still got this.
And then if I look at me now, I have a fear of being broke. I have a fear of not having enough. I hold on to it so tight that I end up spending it in ways that I'm not even conscious of.
Yeah.
So I say all of that to say that you have to be patient with the journey. You have to allow yourself feel however you feel. Like, it's okay to feel like discouraged. It's okay to feel like it's taking forever. It's okay to feel like you have so many limited beliefs. Like, how do you even undo this? Like, but you give yourself that grace, like that time to like allow yourself to
and allow it to happen.
It.
I think you asked and answered your own question. So the question you posed was, how do you speak to that when you feel discouraged, when you have failed, right? And then you answered your own question. It's about how you see it. So when you had the same amount of money to spend, you saw it as one way when you before the house is I'm good. Even if emergency pop up, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, I got to take this, but I'm going to put it back. Like, you know what I mean? That's how you saw it. Like, I'm learning. I'm cultivating something. I'm saving for something big. Now, you see it like, I'm lacking.
Or if it's an emergency, what am I going to do?
What am I going to do? Yeah. So you're in this, you have this, where you were in a space of knowing that you got it, you went from that to a space of fear and lack. That's why it feels different. I think it's about the way you feel about it. You know what I mean? Because I am advocator for you can think things into existence. You can speak things into existence. And if you know me personally, you've watched me manifest at least something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You've watched me manifest something. I believe it's the way I think about it, right? So I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, I was like, I want to make more money. I was not making a lot of money. But I was like, I want to make like $20,000 more. I'm not adding no more skills. I want to use what I have right now, and I make $20,000 more. I kept saying it, to people around me. And then I'm like, I started to do the things I need to do to put myself in the room to make this more money, So I started to go on interviews, and I got a few opportunities. I talked to my current employer, like, look, I know this sounds crazy, but I want you to pay me like $20,000 more. But I want to do the same thing. That's crazy to say.
I know you're paying me this, and I'm already doing it.
Right. I want you to pay me more to do it. And my employer was like, respectfully, no. I give you like half of that, And I'm like, thank you, but I had actually found an opportunity where they were like, we want to give you that plus some because we never want to lose you for money. So come. And I'm just like, wow, like it happened. I mean, crazy. So I took that opportunity, and it was a great opportunity. It was cool. Even though I loved the job I was at, and then that employer ended up calling me back like, I'll pay you the money you asked for, and I'm gonna give you a better title. I'm gonna give you a better job, for what you asked for. Yeah, matter of fact, what do you want me to call you? Like type thing. And I forgot about that.
How about?
I think I like the ring.
Vice President.
Call me the VP. The CEO taking, so it was just an example of me like saying, this is what I'm going to have. And that wasn't the first opportunity that presented itself. I could have took the lesser of what he offered me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I went after... And being okay. I went after a few opportunities and they didn't call me back. And I knew I went in there and I did that thing. Because I knew it. I felt it. I'm very good at interviews. But they still didn't call me back. That wasn't the opportunity. It wasn't supposed to go that way, But even when they didn't call me back, even when they said no, I'm still like, okay, that's your no. But I'm going to get my yes, Yeah. You saying no, but I know I'm going to get yes. So it's no from you. And then I think that's how I always kind of think. I don't know how you put that into your personality. But no, I don't really take no for an answer. I'll take your no. You can tell me no, but somebody's going to tell me yes. It's just a matter of who. Same thing like when you call customer service and you want your money back. Yeah. Oh, I'm that girl.
Yeah. Oh,
you told me no. Can I speak to your supervisor? Oh, you telling me you the only person I can speak
Right.
to?
Are they gonna tell me the same thing? Okay, let them
Well,
tell me.
let them tell me. And I will talk to everybody on staff on the clock because somebody's going to tell me yes, you know. And if you have that same persistence when it comes to the things you want and the things that you know you're worthy of and the things that you just want to manifest and want in your life, I'm telling you, there is nothing that can stop you because things will start to fall. They'll be ahead of you, coming together to work for the good of you because this is what you've already called out.
Yes. Because you're focused on that.
Yeah, you told every cell in your body. You told millions of cells, this is what we'll have. You told your subconscious, this is what we'll have. You're going to have it. Even if it's not so positive. Even if it is failure. Mm-hmm. If it's I can't do it. If it's I can't show up.
That's what's going to happen.
You got it.
Yes. The whole part of it that I've learned is that it's a daily reminder to yourself that you're when you like it's like writing like a to-do list. Mm-hmm. Like on your to-do list you've written down what you're going to do for your day and you're going to follow this and you're going to do it because that's what you plan for your day. Same thing when it comes to your thoughts in your mind, like it starts up here. Like you are, your mind is, a reflection of what your life is. Because whatever you think is what you create. Yeah. And that's just, it's not a magic thing like I think positive and I get positive. Like that's literally how it works. You can't do something unless you've thought about it first. I can't go make, go cook Sunday dinner without thinking about the ingredients that I needed, how much of what I got to put in there, what seasons I got. I can't do that unless I've thought about it up here. Yeah. I can't write a paper unless I've thought about the topic or I've read the subject of whatever I need to write about. Like, it all starts in the mind. So that's why you have to listen to what you're telling yourself because it's always something playing up here. It's always
the subconscious
something playing. It never stops. It picks up on everything. When your subconscious drives you. It's like the GPS of your life. Like it literally drives what you do. Yeah. And it's up to you to put the correct address in. Yeah. You are the one. You're the ultimate navigator of the navigator. Exactly. Like the GPS will go anywhere that you don't tell it to go. Yeah. So with that analogy, think of it like of all the things that we say, whether it comes to career, whether it comes to love. If you think all men cheat, if you think all women are this or gold diggers, if you think all women all they do is this and this and that, you need a certain that's gonna be your life. It's gonna manifest that way. You're gonna only attract men that cheat. You're gonna only attract women that want you for this or that. Like that's gonna be a reflection of your thoughts. And it's not because that is how all women are, because there's so many different types of people. How could you say all? You don't even know a fraction of all the people to say all. Maybe all people you dealt with, which is what you've attracted, which is what you've allowed. Like a lot of us are faced with a lot of the same things, but we don't always open the same doors. Exactly. So, you're choosing your own fate when it comes to like, what you think. Yeah. What you think about others. What you think about how others think of you. What you believe to be true of yourself. If you tell me that my hair is this or my hair is that, if I take on that, that's what I believe. If I think something different, something you could tell me to penetrate the thought I already have about me, and I'm sure I'm gonna attract people who also think the same way about me. That's just life, and it's so the thing about this whole thing too that I wanna like go back to is that it's not as like complicated as it's so subtle. It seems like it's like one of the easiest things you can do, the easiest and the hardest things you can do to change the course of your life. Like literally, like it's that one thing. It's a small thing, but it's such a big thing. It's huge. That you have to do some reprogramming. You have to do some clean the house. You have to be It's aware. Nothing you can do in a day. No. It's something you gotta become conscious of. Yes. And when it happens, you gotta be the one to fix it. You gotta be the one to adjust it in your own mind. Yes. Yeah, it's very subtle. Yes. But it is very important. Yes. Because when I began to change the way I thought, my whole life changed with it. Exactly. Nothing was the same. Yep, and sometimes it became a practical thing. Like maybe it did. I remember in the beginning of like when I call this like my whole journey of like just being like the best version of me, and I feel like that happened like a few years ago when I moved here. Mm-hmm. It all started with the Abundance Now. Yep. Whole thing. Like I feel like that's where it started for me, and just trying to undo a lot of. I felt. In that time of my life, I was just going through like a lot of anxiety and all this, and it literally started with me writing affirmations like on a piece of paper. Wow! Like I would just write them down, and it would be like the most like cliche ones, like I am a beautiful black queen, I deserve all the love and happiness, or whatever. And it seems so like trivial to write these things. I'm like, okay, I'm writing these, and now suddenly my life is going to be this way, but it's like a practice. And, like the more I would write them, the affirmations became so more like tailored to me.
Yeah.
Like they became so personal. Like it wasn't just a general phrase.
I am beautiful.
It's like I am worthy of earning this and this and that. I am worthy of this type of love. Things like that. And it just became like a gradual, like I enjoyed it. Before it would take me so long to think of 25.
Yeah.
Like now it would be pages and pages of them. I would record myself saying them and listen to them like on the way like to work or whatever. Things like that.
It's so crazy you say that because I was speaking with a friend. And we were talking about, because I'm coming into this new season, I'm stepping into these new roles, and I have a tendency, like, I hate to speak this out because this is the very reason I'm doing it, but I've always had a tendency to say, I want to be the best, I want everybody to know I'm the best, but I don't want the accolades.
Oh, yeah.
Like on some Beyonce stuff. Like, I ain't going to show up to the award ceremony, but give me the Grammy. Yes. You know what I mean? Type thing. She was like, you got to stop speaking that, because everything you are doing right now is putting you in the limelight. Right. She was like, I need you got some homework. Go back to your affirmations. Write down who you are. Girl, I wrote affirmations the other night, baby. I said, I am. And it was so good because it reaffirmed what I already know about me. You know what I mean? This is who I am. This is exactly who I am. And, and this is what I'll have. But I'm back on my affirmation tip. So I'm doing a little affirmation challenge out there.
I need to do something too because I've lately, I don't feel like all this that I'm speaking to, I feel like I've come to like a roadblock in my life. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like all of this has gotten me to a point where, it's like what's next? Yeah. Like what other belief? I've gotten all those beliefs.
We got those now
to get to where I'm at.
That's what I'm saying.
But so there's more that's not getting me to where I need to go. And I don't know what they are. I need to. So it's just like. To be transparent again, this is like me resetting. Like, we go through these parts in our lives, especially if you're growing like on a steady level, or if you feel like yourself, like you're progressing in a way that, it's a good positive direction. You find yourself having to reset goals, reset things because you're accomplishing. Like, as far as you have to go, you still have far to.
As far as you've come, you still have far to go. Exactly. But so like you're entering this new level. Same thing I was just saying. Yeah. And so now you've already become everything you've affirmed 5 years ago. Right. That's who you are now. Exactly. Everything you affirmed 5 years ago, you're her. How you doing?
Exactly. Hey, this is her.
Right? But to get to that space is to only realize, oh wait, it's a new level.
It's a new level.
So now you need to affirm different things. Those affirmations from 5 years ago won't work for today because you already know you her. That's already instilled in you.
That's exactly what it is.
So that's exact, man.
And I'm learning as I'm teaching.
It's so crazy that exactly. We always pray to learn as we teach, right? But that's the exact realization I have. I'm like, wait. This is something else, you know what I mean? So, like, I need to affirm, I need to speak to the Brittany I'll be in 5 years, the Brittany I'll be in 3 years, like, who I'm setting up to become now, which is a whole different level of prayer. It's a whole different level of manifestation and thought process that goes into becoming this version of me. And I hadn't even told you yet that I was doing affirmations again.
I know.
But now you know.
I know. Thanks. I'm going to be doing them too.
Please do. And I really challenge you guys to get into all these affirmations with us.
Yeah, we'll share some this week on our on social media.
Heck yeah, let's
some
definitely
of the ones
do that.
Because they are
good. They are good.
I know.
After I got done writing,
affirmations.
Man,
I truly do.
I felt so good.
They make you feel good.
It's not so cliche like you would think. Like it really does speak to who you are and who you're becoming.
Sometimes cliche is good. It's cliche for a reason.
Okay.
Everyone does it
because it works.
Yeah, exactly. There's some truth behind it. So another thing I wanted to kind of speak to, and this is also speaking for me. So I'm feeling like this is a very personal episode. I didn't even realize it was going to be this way. But a part of the fear, remember you mentioned being like having a fear of failure and all of that. So taking risks is something that's hard, or has been hard for me.
You caught yourself.
So yes, taking risks has been, something that I've had a challenge with and still. And I feel like a part of overcoming this is to take chances, even when you are afraid to fail, even when you are, uncertain of what's to come, is to take chances. And I'm asking you, since you seem to be on this kick of knowing like what to do to overcome these beliefs, like how do you, for someone who's afraid, who has fear, obviously that's like an underlying thing, how do you take risks when failure just seems so like scary?
Yeah.
Like how do you?
I say take calculated risks, right? So we don't want to there have been times where I've just jumped out there and definitely just stepped out on
like
faith.
for example, I'll tell you, like when you took the job,
Yeah,
and it was a whole new environment, a whole new place,
whole new job.
Yeah, so
Wasn't
you
the same
did
thing.
it, even though you were afraid or the fear of failure. Like you left something that was more comfortable, that was more familiar, that was more secure, and you went into something that was unknown, not secure, unfamiliar, kind of scary, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, but then it works out because you're like you're jumping into something. It could work out or it cannot. You take the lesson like you said, or it works out and it's all good. So yeah.
For me, I have this thing when it comes to new challenges, right? Like when it comes to change and when it comes to trying something new like that, like when I'm in a space that challenges, I know I'm gonna have to be pulled to I kind of crave that a little bit. I don't know if everybody have that. I do crave that, like because it pulls me. Like even right now, I'm working on something. I'm working on this Airbnb project. I don't know how to do Airbnb between me and you. It's something I've never done. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I could fuck this all up, and and it's ways back there. It's a possibility, but at the same time, I'm like, no. Or I could learn everything I need to know about it, because that's what I'll do. If I don't know what I'm doing, like if I'm coming into a new space and doing something completely different, like the job I've had, like I didn't know how to do marketing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm a marketing director now because I'll educate myself. So it's a risk. But I'm like, what I do know how to do is learn.
Yeah.
What I do know how to do is gather information and facts and apply them and try them and see what works and what doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, and when it comes to attaining knowledge, I'm very humble. So I'll go to who I know is the source. I'll go to who I know has the information, and I humble myself and say, hey, like, I want to learn. And I'm not just saying, hey, I want to learn and showing up in your face. I'm showing up just like this. Tell me what you know. I swear, and you'll be talking to me, and you'll look up, and I have 5 pages of notes because I took in everything that you said, and then I'm going to use that to do whatever it is I need to do. Because if I have the information, I know I can apply it. That's all of us, whether you know that about yourself or not. So if I have the information, I can go at this thing. I'm just going to have to refer back to what it is you told me. So, don't slight education. You know what I mean? Even self-education. The most I've ever learned is from teaching self. So one thing I definitely do in a situation where I'm completely new and I have no idea what it is I'm doing is I get the information. Like I'm going to become a student. I'm going to humble myself. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to take my notes. I'm going to refer back. And then I'm going to learn. That's how I learn. I learn like a student anyway. That's why I was always really good at school. So I learned. That's my style of learning. It's different for some people. Some people are visual. So if you need to see it, you know what I mean? If you need to put your hands on it, I say do what it is you need to do to get in there. So if it's something new, I didn't know how to start a podcast.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know step 1. I did not know. All we had was an idea. But I was like, well, I bet you somebody else knows. And I bet you with some information out there and some tips and some tools. And I'm going to try all of them. And we're going to see what works for us. You know what I mean? And so with anything for me, it's always education. I'm confident when it comes to learning. So if I learn through it, and then also talking. So I'm gonna talk and ask you, how do I do this, and speak through it. Like, so this.
Yeah.
So how did this. And so that's one thing for me. I say use what you're confident in to build your confidence up in something that's unknown.
Exactly. Perfect transition to what I was thinking. Because a lot of it, you already have a lot of the tools. Believe in what you already have. Believe in what you already know. Look at what you've already been through. Look at the success that you've had in whatever area that you have succeeded. We're not failures across the board.
No, and your skill set you in this place for a reason.
Exactly.
You're not just randomly dropped.
Your skills are transferable. Like what works over here can also work over here. So just look at yourself. Do an inventory of your.
Why am I here?
Yeah.
Why did I qualify to be here?
So of what you can do. We all have abilities. We all have great things about us.
Yeah.
Whether it's knowledge, whether it's the ability to learn, whether it's the ability to ask, whether it's the ability to just focus and be alone, whether it's to network, whatever your skill is, we all have one. And to feed to that, to use that as a confidence tool to build you to the next level, because you're good at certain things. I'm not going to go in the kitchen and cook and without any kind of problem,
or put your hands on. That's what you good at.
Yeah.
Reach will grab something and she'll do it like she's always done it. even if it's her first time and she's figuring it out. Like when she start like doing hair. Like,
yeah.
She had never done hair, but she'd grab it up. I always have to get my hair done because I don't know how to do hair. But so I know what it feels like when somebody's unsure in my head, and I know what it feels like when somebody know what they doing in my head. And ladies, you know what I'm talking about. And men, if you ever got a haircut, you know what I'm talking about, right? So you can tell when it feels skilled. Reach will first time she up in there, she just and it comes out that way because she's touching it like she knows it.
Yes.
Not me. Like I'll be like, now how you use this comb? Like, you know.
And if it doesn't look right, I'm like, well, I try. Or I know what to do better next time.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't realize like so many parts of your life where like there's small areas that you really do these things. Like we do these things on a normal day-to-day basis. We speak so much positivity over ourselves. Like by any means, like we say we're gonna get this. Like, you know, in little ways. Like we're gonna get the money for the bills this month by any means, and somehow it always comes together. Or you know you're gonna eat every day, right? And if you
but you gotta ask for more.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
Come on now. This scripture has been in my head because of Steve Harvey. He is James 4:2. You have not because you ask not.
Yes.
And I was like, hold up. Like,
exactly.
That's so true. Like, if all you asking for is to have your bills paid, no problem. That's easy. You know what I mean? Ask for what it is you want. Put that out there. So I want to be a millionaire. I want a luxury lifestyle. I want to be able to put money in the hands of everybody in my family. I want to be able to have positive influence over people that I may never lay eyes on. Say what it is you want. Stop asking for so small.
Yes,
because you get
yourself every day. And what
you deserve even more than that.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
You're capable of it. You had a really interesting question that we were discussing. What was the question that you had?
Oh yeah, so we bought this game, y'all. We were gonna play it probably on the episode.
We got to. It was good.
It's like a really like eye-opening game, and it kind of allows you to know the people that you're playing with. So anyway, I forgot what it's called.
It's called We're Not Really Strangers.
We're not really strangers. And basically, you pick cards and they ask like, you know, questions that are kind of like
they get deeper and deeper.
They get deep. So one of the questions that we had, I think I forgot who pulled it but basically we all kind of asked each other, and it was, are you afraid to succeed or fail? Why or why not? So, you know,
which are you more afraid of?
Are you afraid of failure? You're afraid of success. And you said failure.
I said both.
You said both.
I said it used to be. I said
it
both
used to be fail. It used to be success, but now it's failure.
Yeah.
And I said for me it was success because, and I don't realize it like consciously, but what we tell ourselves, like, you know, with success comes more responsibilities. It comes more spotlight. You're more scrutinized. Like even this whole podcast is being here and putting myself like in a position to.
You're open. You're vulnerable.
To anything that anyone has to say about either what we're talking about. Our setup, what
your
we look
opinions,
like, anything, like you're putting yourself out there to be vulnerable. And success to me is you know, the higher your success is, and you know, if you look at success as like fame or notoriety or wealth or whatever, you're in more rooms, you're dealing with more people, and it just kind of exposes you. And I feel like in a way, like, you know, I'm a Cancer rising, so I'm like a crab, and I do like to like be to myself and like to come out of my shell. It's very scary for me. So, and I feel like in order for me to be successful, a lot of these things that I tell myself I have to shed and let go of, because I feel like I'm sheltering myself from being, you know, vulnerable, from, you know, having the no's, you know, because, you know, you like how you said, you're not afraid of a no, because someone's going to tell you yes. Sometimes the no's are intimidating for me. I don't want to be told no. I hate being told no.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me no? Like, what do you mean? What did I do for you to say no to me? And yeah, it makes me afraid to be successful. Yeah. But I don't want to be afraid of success, because if I'm afraid of success, that means I'm afraid of being who, you know, the bring out the best of me. I'm afraid to.
And subconsciously you may deter your
and
success.
I'm muting myself, or I'm, you know, limiting myself, or I don't want to shine as bright for whatever reason. Those are things that I have to really sit and think about. Like, what am I truly telling myself? Yeah. Is it because I'm afraid of the spotlight, or is it because I'm afraid of, you know, being criticized, or you know, it's uncomfortable for me to be told that I'm doing something wrong? Maybe I have this ego thing where I just, you know, I don't want to be told that I'm incorrect at something, so I don't want to be put there to be judged. And it's just deeper than, oh yeah, I don't want anybody saying anything about me. But it's like, why? Like, what's wrong with someone saying something about me?
Yeah, or to
People are
even
gonna talk
realize
about-
that.
Yeah, people talk about people all the time. I talk about people all the time. Let's
Yeah.
be real. We talk about whether it's people on Instagram, celebrities, you know, whatever.
But you have your opinion.
Yes, but I have my opinion. So why am I afraid of someone else's when I have them?
Yeah.
And you know,
And
I
what
want
would that
everybody
do to me?
to not.
Worst
tell
case
me-
scenario,
right.
what would these opinions
And do I
be?
not want someone's opinions? Because all my opinions aren't bad.
Yeah.
Some of them are helpful. Like if I was to tell everybody my opinion,
You feel like it
you
would
know,
help.
it might help. So maybe I should take people's opinions.
Yeah.
And take the meat, leave the bones type of approach with that.
Yes.
So that's an example of something that I need to overcome because it's deeper than just I don't want to be in the spotlight, but I tied success to that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to deal with the deeper things.
Yeah.
That
And even like that's such a great realization because for me I feel like I used to be afraid of success, but now I'm more afraid of failure. But I have to give the context because we just had to talk about fear of failure. So like I used to be afraid of success, and the only way that it was an indicator to me that I was afraid to succeed was because I would get right on the edge of everything I had been asking for, and everything was starting to manifest, and all I had to do was show up. I get right there, see it all, and shy away, and find a way to mess it up. Yeah. But no, seriously, to mess it up, like, and it was so subconscious. It was so subtle. I didn't realize that it was me that was messing it up. I could feel the anxiety welling up in my heart that maybe I wasn't good enough, that maybe this was too much, and
that
those
you can't handle it.
That real started to play in the back of my mind, and I realized like, wait, it's me because I see it all aligning. And as soon as it's right there, I go busy
you're
myself.
The one that's messing it up.
Oh yeah, I'll be like, oh, like God gave me everything. I remember at one time I was asking God, give me the money and the time, because I had the money but I didn't have the time. I was working so hard that I was working all these jobs, so I had the money and no time. I was like, give me the money and the time, and I'll do what it is you want me to do.
Right.
He gave me the money and the time. I was like, I'm about to go get in a relationship.
Too much time.
Time to date.
Visit myself.
I need to go find a toxic man and take him some of this time, And I realized that I was doing that. So now, I've made that transition. Now I'd say I'm more afraid of failure in a sense that I'm afraid to not try. I'm afraid to not do it. I'm afraid to not go after everything and end up back at square one with no will to do more.
Yeah, or you
failure
do
in
all
that
this
sense. Just to not
that's
do
it.
Yeah.
I mean
failure in the sense of not doing it. Not failure. I'd rather fail from trying than fail from not trying. I never want to get in a place where I'm back at square one.
You didn't do it because you didn't do it.
Exactly. I'm going to try. If it don't work out, it's not because I didn't try it. You know what I mean? So I'm more afraid of failure in that sense now. But I think being afraid of success is something that's so deep rooted, and it's something that's so, you have to really pull it out and, like you said, unpack it and why and dig into it.
So many parts to it. Like, it's not just, this cut and
maybe
dry.
you've never seen what success looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe you've only seen success in a negative light where you're famous and it takes
or maybe
parts
I
of
see
you.
it and it's all this extraness to it. Like, there's a lot of stress. A lot of, you don't have time for certain things. All those things scare me. I don't want that.
Yeah.
If that means to give up, that. But and that's a part of taking risks. Like, it's okay to give up what I know was comfortable in order to be uncomfortable for something greater. Because discomfort does not last forever.
No.
Especially if you're elevating to a new level, that's only to get there.
And you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable because in any new space, any new space, it's like you said, it's not familiar no more. Like, how do you operate when you don't feel familiar? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because as you continue to pass these levels, you're always, even when you have succeeded and now you're going to your next level, you're always going to be a smaller fish in a bigger pond. So you were a beast at level 4, but now you're in level 5 and you're in a bigger room, and now you're feeling like that small fish again, and it's okay.
Beginner in what we're now experts at. Anything, you look at a baby. Baby comes out, doesn't know how to walk, crawl, eat, talk, nothing. And they learn. And they become masters at it. Now they're crawling all over the house. Then they start walking. They only can take 2-3 steps before they fall. Now they run, you can't catch them. You know what I mean? So it's like
But they don't stop. They never think like, oh, I can't get up, so I better just stay down here. Because they don't have that fear mindset yet.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's taught. That's a key. Like, you're not born with this.
And check ego too, because ego sometimes has a problem with being the small fish.
Yes.
With being in a room.
Yeah, you'll stay in a pool where you're the big fish because you're big.
But because of your ego. So you can stay right there where it's comfortable, where it's familiar, where you get to topple over everybody and you don't have to learn and you don't have to humble yourself and become the student.
You don't have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's so comfortable. Like, that's when you're so comfortable, that's where you're going to be at.
Yeah, and and comfortability is always a signal to my mind that it's time to change.
Yeah, it's time for some new
If I've mastered this and I've hit the ceiling, I've become the best at this, okay, we need to hit that new level. Yeah.
Because I'm never comfortable with where I'm at. It doesn't feel like I'm where I need to be. I feel like there's more. I always thought that as like a kid too. Like I would like my natural like not trying is still good.
Yeah.
But me trying would be so good.
It's like excellent.
Like I've always said this to myself too. This is another limited belief. Like had I just applied myself, I would have gone to Harvard. I would have, because my good was enough to get me by. Yeah, and to get me better than a lot of people who even do a lot.
Come on.
But that's how I know there's so much in me. If my bare minimum is mediocre. Or even better than mediocre.
Yeah, it's above. It's above average.
If I tap in?
Yeah.
What would happen if I really show up?
Yeah.
If I really present and do my best every day, or more days than I do now?
What does that look like?
What would that look like?
What does my life look like?
Because this looks like no effort.
Yeah.
And if I was to be honest with myself, I could do a lot more with the opportunities that I have.
Yeah.
I take a lot of things for granted. If I was to be honest, I'm comfortable with being comfortable. I change is uncomfortable. It's scary, and sometimes with the person that I am, I don't want to shake the room. I don't want to, because it's like it took me a while to get here to settle it.
Yeah.
Let me be here for a while.
Let me
but
enjoy
something in me knows like, okay, if you're gonna sit here, but you have to get up. You can't stay here.
That's burning desire. It's never gonna stop hitting you.
They get smaller and smaller. I don't want to stay in a comfort zone for a long time.
Yeah.
I know that growth is outside of this area. I've seen that.
It's so true. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but you can't live there.
Yeah, just visit here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a reminder of it. I feel like comfort zones, if used properly, remind you of the progress you made, and you can look back. It's a place to stop and look back.
Yeah,
it's a place to stop.
Take a breath.
Like if you're like on a mountaintop and you can look down and see how far you've come, but you look behind you, there's a whole another mountain you gotta climb.
Yeah.
So it's like a plateau. Catch your breath. Like,
take in the moment.
Take in the moment.
But you can't live right there.
Think about how you're gonna get to that level.
Yeah.
Because you knew how to get here, but now you gotta
Let's strategize.
Yeah.
Let's
time
redirect.
For you to come up with a new game plan. It's like halftime.
Yeah, exactly. It's a break, but it's not a resting place.
Yeah, it's not the end.
Don't stay there. And you can, but if you are a person who is like forward thinking, who is, committed to growth, you're not going to be able to stay there long because that nudging never stops. That eating at that.
And if you have that nudge, it's a sign, because sometimes you get to a place and you're good. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody is meant to be CEO of a big company. Like, that's not everybody's dream.
Yeah.
People want to just have a comfortable life, have enough money to pay their bills, save.
And live comfortably.
To live comfortably. They don't have to worry. Sometimes peace of mind is what people are trying to get to. It's not always about being a multi-millionaire. And that's all good and all that. But, when you feel like if you have like that nudge and you're like, this is not it, like it gotta be something more to life than this and just waking up and working and paying these bills.
Yeah.
If you feel like that, then there is something more for you to do besides that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and if you feel like people around, like, it's always, you have to just check yourself. Always check yourself. Like, even if you are comfortable, is this as far as I could go?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you do get comfortable and it's okay, but could you do more?
Yeah.
Would you be showing up in the world better if you just did a little bit more? You might help some more people. You might, it's just...
It's not always in business. It's not always in work. Sometimes it's if I poured more into my kids, if I gave more to my relationship, if I was a better friend, if I showed up better, you know what I mean? And we know what better looks like.
Right. We have an idea.
Because then you start to kind of get ideas. It's not always work-based. Sometimes you are meant to be the best friend that anybody has ever had, or the best mother that anybody's ever seen, or the best wife, you know what I mean? Or the best husband, whatever. So it's not always work-related, but that yearn to be better, to do more, it's not going to stop. You might as well answer the call.
Exactly. It's going to keep calling you.
Yeah, and tap in.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I believe that you can have everything you desire, but you got to do the work. It's not free. The dream is so separate from the hustle. You get the dream for free, but that hustle is sold separately. You gotta go at it. You gotta fail. You gotta fall and hit your head. You gotta want it more. You've gotta wrestle with it. Remember we were talking about that?
Yes,
you don't get
yes.
anything worth having unless you wrestle with the thing. You know what I mean? You gotta fight with it a little bit. You've gotta, because it builds up the desire, it builds up the want, it builds up the respect for it, and the ability to stay.
For it.
Yeah, and that's like we were using the example of coming here to Atlanta. When I got here, it was hard a little bit. You know, it was hard. It
Absolutely.
wasn't. The easier thing would have been
talk
to
about the most
go
unfamiliar,
back.
crazy,
oh my
scary
God.
thing. If you want to talk about all the things we said,
Yeah,
unfamiliar,
come
not
somewhere where you don't know somebody
before.
Yeah, with little to
no
nothing.
Blueprint,
Exactly.
No money, no job, no sure plan.
Yeah. But just desire to be here.
And following that gut feeling that, you know.
And then letting things keep
that
working
I'm
out.
going to figure it out.
Exactly.
I knew I was going to figure it out. It wasn't.
Because
the option
wasn't
on the table. I took it off the table.
Going back home was not an option.
It wasn't.
Uncle Tony always say, if you want to
take
take the island, burn the boats. If you take the option off to go back, you can only go forward, even if it's hard.
And you have to figure it out.
Yeah, and I wrestled with it. Like, I had to struggle. I had to figure it out. I had to, mess up a little bit, but it made me love it. So when it started to make sense and it started to work out, I wanted to be here even more, because it made sense. Like,
I know. It really built my character, definitely.
Yeah, it changed
like, literally, like, I don't even know how. I still think about
I still don't know how we were
just
just
a person who never took
risks,
risks, who never did anything out of her comfort zone, who didn't have any money.
You stepped out.
And it was something that just spoke and just said to do it. I'm telling you, I can never. People ask me all the time, especially being from LA, why would you move from LA and come to Atlanta? And I always say, I don't know. I don't. Look, I don't know why. It's a good point. I should say my.
Maybe not though.
But maybe not. Because look at me now. I wouldn't have. I mean, I would. Whatever was meant would have been meant. But this was meant. This part of it was meant. I wouldn't be here. My life wouldn't be. And I like how my life is. I love how many lessons I've learned here. And I had to get out of my comfort zone. And home, family, LA was my comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
Yeah.
Literally.
Sometimes you got to get from up under that. But it was the same thing for me. Like, everything was the same at home. Everything is still the same. The thing that pushed me out is the thing that I love about going back, because it's nostalgic. Everything's right where I left it. Home. My granny's on the same street. My family's in the same place. Everything is right where I left it. But if I would have been there, I would have been right there too. Right where I left me. 6 years later.
Just battling that feeling of like, what else?
Yeah. And not even knowing where to start.
This is answering it. It's not even, because what else after? I don't even know if I'm going to be here for the rest of my life.
No.
Like, what else?
Yeah.
That one big thing, like, showed me, like, it's always something unexpected and more out there. You just got to trust it. Yeah. When you have that urge, when you have that feeling, you got to listen to it. Even if it doesn't work out. Even if I came here and it didn't work out and I had to go back home or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I had to listen to it. I had to know that it wasn't, or it was the right thing by doing it. I wouldn't have known if I never
But that's here. A muscle. To follow your gut, follow your instincts, follow the nudge, follow the calling. It's a muscle. And the more you listen to it, the louder that you can hear it, and the easier it is to follow it. But the more you ignore it, the more silent it gets.
Yes.
You have to follow your heart. Follow it. It's a reason you have the desires you do. It's that thing that you can't really put your finger on inside of you. It's the God in you telling you what to do. Are you going to listen to it? It's in your gut. You feel it. It's something you feel. And people who have felt it know the feeling.
Exactly.
And you got to follow it. It's literally a muscle.
So I challenge everyone this week, the next couple weeks, before we see each other again, before y'all see us, because we can't see you. But yeah, it's just like take something in your life, big or small, something that you've been wrestling with in your mind, something that you've tried and you failed at and you gave up on and you thought that it wasn't for you, or that, something that's so crazy and far-fetched that everyone looks at you and it's like, why? Just do it. Just see what happens. Like, just take a risk these next few weeks. Think about something that you've always wanted to do. Whether it's as small as like a new food you never tried before because you're afraid of whatever. Yeah. Or a new place, or you challenge yourself in terms of how you show up, like in a relationship or in a friendship. Pay attention to your kids a little more this week. Call your friends that you didn't call, and you keep saying they don't call me, so I don't call them. why don't you show up and stop having that limited belief that someone has to reach out to you type of thing.
Yeah,
Just something,
it has to be
for
equal.
example, right. Just do the thing that, you know, you keep thinking about over and over in your mind.
Yeah, because the more you do it, the less fear it has over you.
Yeah, and it won't hold you so hard. So, yeah, I feel like I just went to therapy, y'all. I have some homework
I know,
to do,
for real.
and I really gotta think about like my next level and like what's stopping me. What is my next level?
Yeah.
What do I want?
Yeah.
What is the thing in my head that
that's playing and stopping you from getting
Yes. You know, what are my desires?
Yeah.
What's stopping me from achieving them or attaining them? And like come up with
Let's
like
change
a
the
way to
language.
be conscious about it. Like
Yeah.
I want to be conscious about what I'm telling myself in this new season. I want to, you know, think about where I'm headed. I feel like I don't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to have a plan. And yeah, like, let's do it like together because
For real.
I'm literally going to do that. And
I'm in it with you, girl. I'm
doing my
it.
affirmations.
I'm affirming some new things because I know it's new things on the horizon. And so I have to show up that way. But we challenge you guys to do the same. We challenge you to kind of look over things and to do the affirmations with us. As always, we appreciate you guys for listening. Like this video. Share this video. You know, click.
Watch it like 10 times, like every day.
Yeah, just let it play.
Just let it keep remind. Let this be an affirmation for you.
It's all
daily affirmation.
Hit subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at the Unfinished Project Podcast. Follow me at The Meat Show. Follow Risha at Ariel_Marii. 2 eyes. Yeah, we appreciate you guys for listening. And tell a cousin and tell a friend to check out an episode. We'll see you next time.
Bye.